Hello and welcome back to my Tomb Raider Remastered playthrough, and today I am on to Natla's Mines. So let's get going. So yes, here we are, slightly different affair now. In fact, this is very much a different kind of level in general, although it does actually share the same kind of design as the other final two levels in the Oh, I just noticed something weird. Anyway, yeah, it does actually technically share the same kind of design, same level textures and stuff for the most part as the other levels in this final section. It's also quite different. It sort of feels like a level on its own. I mean, a lot of these bits here are unique to this level. All the stuff that marks out specifically as a mine, so little trucks like that, and this motorised vehicle here, and the barriers and stuff. These are all different to any other level. So in that sense, it's kind of its own thing, but as we shall see, it also does tie in with the two following levels. It's Tomb Raider 1's no weapons level, or at least the level where you start without weapons, which is a thing that all the... well, not all of them, because Last Revelation does do it, but most of the core games did at some point. So you start with nothing, you lose all your ammo except... oh no, you do keep a bit of ammo for some reason. And you keep your medipacks, because, well, I suppose Natla's thugs just went through and took the weapons. But yeah, you don't have any weapons at the start, so it's a bit of a scary one on first play, and also you start underwater and there's a little bit of a swim. It's certainly more of a swim than you have at the start of what's the other one, Palace Midas. So yeah, that marks out as being different, but also just this, and you've got, say here we've got electric lights and barriers and stuff, and this is the only real sign of modern civilization in the whole game. This first game is very much rooted in the spooky isolation, and yeah, the tombs, undiscovered places, all that kind of stuff. You know, you definitely have the thing of it being you're the only person to have been here in the past however many 100 or 1,000 years. That's the vibe you get from the whole of the first game, except for this one level, which is yeah, just its own little thing, which is good. I mean, I like the variety. Background ambience makes a return from the Cistern and Tomb of Tehokan. I suppose with all this water and the big caverns and stuff, that does kind of make sense, even though it's a very different environment. So yeah, that's the last we've heard of the windy background for a while for this game. This opening section is one of my strongest memories of the game as a kid. I'm just having a look up there because there is something important in this building that's up on a crane. Why is it up on a crane? Nobody knows. Yeah, this kind of area, I'm sure this is a bit I remember one of my friends, no, I'm certain it's a bit I remember my friend James playing when I was a child, when he was kind of showing me computer games for the first time. Nothing down here yet. Why am I going down here? So yeah, I have a very sort of vivid memory of watching my friend play this. It's a very, very lengthy area, or lengthy part of the level, which is a bit tedious given that it's geographically it's a fairly small part of the level. There's a lot more of the level to come, shall we say, whereas this bit is probably got the most backtracking of anything in the first game, especially the sort of hallways I've been going along so far. The bit behind the waterfall in the beginning. Going up and down that is something I end up doing a lot in this level, which kind of makes it a bit tedious. I know it's not generally considered like one of the most popular levels in the game, and I do wonder if that's a part of it. Just the fact that this kind of opening bit goes on and on and on and on and on, doing the same thing over and over again. So here we are looking for 3 fuses at this point that are scattered randomly around the mine. This is Natla's mines, so... Oh yes, of course, we press a switch, hidden away, and what it does is make a boat move. Because that's how things work. Given that Natla was using video calls on laptops in 1996, I suppose it's not impossible that she had also invented Wi-Fi. So the boat moves via Wi-Fi. Oh, yeah, here we go, you see. Back along this long corridor. But now we can climb onto the boat and land over here. And this is where we're looking at. Who does own this mine? I just can't tell. My guess is this slightly stained crate box here is empty. That's why it can be moved and the others can't. Just a coincidence that all the empty ones are stained, apparently. Actually, can I just push this through? Surely that's the easier way. No, I can't. So let's waste some more time going back here again. At this point, there's no sign of miners in the mine. I don't know exactly who Natla Technologies employed to work here, and whether any of them would have had any idea what's going on. And yeah, here we are. Here's another switch that's hidden away in a cavern behind a load of crates. And what does it do? It moves this, because if you quickly just wanted to move that little vehicle, that motorised drill, that's where you put the switch to do it, wouldn't you? So we've got to go all the way back along here again. I really like the atmosphere of this opening section in particular. Again, after the hot, sweltering yellows and beiges of Egypt, it's quite fun to. It's quite refreshing to have a different kind of atmosphere, especially if you're a fan of the cold like me. Now the important thing here is to not go straight ahead, for reasons we'll see in a bit. Instead, up here there's a lone set of Uzi clips and then another one of these switches that does something a long way away. I wonder if anybody who worked in this mine actually kind of stayed the course, or whether they just all quit because of how terribly laid out the whole thing was. Why are you resigning? Oh, well, I was sick of having to spend half an hour walking to the other side of the mine just to open a gate. Maybe they just sent the work experience kid to do it. And of course, the only way to access this part of the mine is via that jump there, so health and safety is probably not the biggest concern of Natla here. Once again, you know, you don't want that in the workplace. I'm trying to work out where that gate I just opened is. It's a bit of a maze, this opening section, which is fair enough, you know. It feels kind of like you'd imagine a mine would. There's lots of narrow, confusing passages. Oh yes. Here we have a switch which turns on a conveyor belt behind us. Which is moving slower than it used to. That's going quite fast. Not sure what this conveyor belt was used for, but it did have a fuse on it, which we have now claimed. So just come off the end. Anything down this side? The answer is Boggle! Cool. So that's the first switch. First switch gained. No, it's not. That's the first fuse gained. And we can go up here to this control room and place it in place. So yeah, this opening section is a collect 3 items area, which is fairly familiar by this point. Is there a scoop here originally? Oh yeah. So yeah, that kind of thing. Oh, an automatically opening gate. We have many of those so far. Yeah, that structure is kind of familiar, although the items... Thank you, gate. The items being collected are a bit different this time, so fuses is a bit more of a kind of conventional, practical vibe to it. So that's a bit different. But the main difference is this level is not just a collect 3 type thing. Oh, let's start this again. This is a race against a boulder, which is quite quite fun, but a bit tricky. Oh, for the love of... And it can take a while. Especially if you keep getting the first jump wrong. That's the boulder we're racing against. And yeah, if you don't get there in time, then it blocks up this hole and you can't carry on. The good thing is, you can go around here and I can't remember the way through. There's a way through back out of that area, I think. And it resets the boulder back to the top, which is convenient. Right, so here's the second of the 3 fuses. And there's quite a few more boulders. These boulders are red broadly, and that's a bit different. In fact, I didn't really point out, but down here we have, I think, the game's first lava pit. Now, or is it magma when it's underground? I think it might be magma here. Anyway, that's completely irrelevant. It doesn't matter in the slightest. That's fallen. It doesn't actually matter at this point. But what does matter is it's the first one of these, and it just kind of makes you wonder how far down we actually are here. Because, I mean, lava's pretty deep, or magma is pretty deep below the ground. So somehow this mine goes down to that level, and we're back out again. So yeah, if you want, you can go back in here, and you can see that the boulder is reset back up to the top, which is very nice of it. You don't tend to get courteous boulders like that very much. So let's pop our second fuse in. I'm doing this to kill a bit of time because I'm trying to work out where the third fuse is. I can never remember. Oh, it's right back at the start, isn't it? And there's a medipack on that scary hovering building. Yeah, I should have sorted this out earlier. But this is the one I always forget. So I'm allowing myself a whoops moment there. So when I said, yeah, you don't go beyond that, didn't actually mean it just yet. But you don't go beyond is the fuse. I think that's quite a nice little thing that tempts you out there into a trap of some kind. I suppose for a first time player that's actually quite a useful bit to get in. You get a particular kind of experience which kind of highlights the unique nature of the level, which we'll get to in a minute. I'm saying all this in kind of like, oh, I don't want to spoil it, as if any of the 4 people who are watching this video haven't played Tomb Raider 1 a dozen times over, or 100 times over. So, back along here again. Yes, thank you, Lara. I can see that. Yeah, I mean, even without that that mistake, there is a lot of backtracking along there in this level. Do we have all three? We have dropped that down. I mean, I don't know why that happens like that. Put some fuses in and the circuit drop in. There's no controls for it. And of course, inside here, this is where Lara's pistols were stored. And they are Lara's pistols because they're infinite pistols, and Lara Croft is the only person. Get out of the room! Lara Croft is the only person in the world to have infinite ammo pistols. And up here, for the level's first secret. Somewhere. I remember seeing this kind of gap up here early on when I first played it, and thinking, oh, that's got to be the way to go in the level, and didn't realise it was just going to be a secret. And when I was playing, God, what was it? I can't remember, one of the earlier levels, might have been Cistern and Two Tokens, something like that, did mention that later on in the game we get a secret, much like that specific one, which uses a technique that's a bit more obscure or a bit more difficult, not part of the conventional gameplay. And that's part of, it's a secret, so it's something kind of a bit more tricky that you have to work at, that eventually becomes part of the main gameplay. So when that wooden floor dropped down there's lava underneath, so you fall to your death. So you have to do constant jumping from one side to the other. That's the only time you do it in this first game, and it's just part of a secret. It's kind of thinking outside of the box, using the structure of the game environment to do something a little bit different. But that then goes on to be part of the main gameplay in the second game. There's a bit in one of the underwater, I think it might be Wreck of Mariadora, where you actually have to do that particular move as part of the main gameplay. So it's quite fun looking at sort of the development of the game and how the developers sort of introduce something as a tricky bit of a secret, and I think then kind of thought, no, this is good, increased difficulty, we'll incorporate it into the main game. And here we are, back at the start of the level again, although by getting that secret we do at least have the opportunity to go a different way. Just that once. Which is nice. I don't know if you can hear it, the wind is strong as anything today. Had a week or two of some pretty mild to warm weather. Really felt like a lovely sort of spring was here, and well, it is, because it's April. You get 17 types of weather every day in April, but yes, we've got the wind at the minute. So this is why you really should not go any further forward, because one of Natla's goons, who's known creatively as the Cowboy, and here he is, dressed as, of course I've camera moded that when he's really in the dark. Oh my god, I've just died. I thought I'd have a nice close-up look at it. Oh, he's still shooting me when I'm dead because he just loves shooting Lara. So yes, Natla's henchmen are very daft and cartoon-like. One of them is dressed as a cowboy and talks a bit like a cowboy. with his hat and his neckerchief. And he's there and he's got magnums. And they're obviously a lot better at killing than pistols, so you do end up using health packs here because he takes a lot longer to kill than Lara. And of course the other problem here is this area is full of lava traps that you can fall into, so that tends to be the way most people die more often than actually dying by being shot. Unless you're me doing a let's play and then I die by being shot just to make myself look stupid. So yes, we finally killed him and we get magnums back. Now, this level is different for another reason, and that's because there's only 3 bits of combat in the whole level and they are all people. There's there's no sort of general enemies. They've added in health bars, so they all basically are bosses in this, which is a bit weird, but yes, they're the only 3 bits of combat in the whole level. So this was once very grey. Now they've lit it differently. Although I tell you what, have they changed that lighting in the patch? I'm sure they have. I'm sure when you first played this room was a lot redder. I wonder if I've actually got my first playthrough videos anywhere. I haven't got the audio. I've got deleted. I'll have to compare because I swear this room was redder. Don't know why I'm saving again. Let me have a look. I'm going to have a quick look online. Yes, they've really reduced how red that was. That looks so much worse. Why have they done that? Bloody patches. That's really disappointing. I loved how good this room looked. I mean, it still looks kind of cool, but it's just not as cool as it was. The whole room was just really, really glowing red before. Oh, where are you going? I mean, admittedly, the lava still is a major improvement on the original, however. Anyway, moaning. Let's get back to playing. So yes, this is kind of remarkable that this isn't the point where everybody who worked for Natla decided to quit, because it gets really weird now. Like, imagine, so yeah, we've just got a mine here. You know, we just need people to do some falling into lava and dying. Just need people to, you know, do some tunnelling and digging and what are we digging for? Well, I don't know. Maybe we're digging for coal. Who knows? Natla, we've ended up digging into lava here. Yep, that's fine. Carry on. No. You're not hearing us correctly. It's molten lava, magma, really hot, dangerous working environment. Several people have died already. There's nothing worth mining down here. There's no coal or... No, that's fine. Keep going. You'll get to where we need to go. But what's going on? Doing a lot of saves here because I always do when there's platforming. Because otherwise I do that and then have to end up redoing the whole thing. So how do we do this bit? Is it from... That's it. Yeah, you can tell we're late in the game because there's some really, really tricky jumps like that. You can't do a running jump because something about the way, a really steep bit. I don't know. I don't really understand the structure of it, but when you've got two steep bits joining like that, then yeah, you can't do a running jump, but you have to do the standing jump from a very specific point. Otherwise, they're all just too low. Oh, we can't go down here and have a look, see what's up here. Of course, it was previously just a bit of rock, whereas now there's actually there's a source for the lava, but we can't go up and find out. So there we go. Explains how the lava's moving though, which is a pretty cool kind of touch, I think. We've got a hill ahead of us. Does this mean there's a boulder? Oh, in Natla's mines, if there's a steep bit, it almost always means there's a boulder. They really went out on the boulder love. Really went for the boulder love in this level. So yeah, this is where the level really does begin to resemble the other levels that are coming. We lose a lot of the sort of more recognisable, conventional working mine kind of atmosphere here, and we're back into sort of fantastical, surreal weirdness. Strangely, the lava doesn't appear to be moving here. Does it drop down further or something, or is it... No, they gave up with physics at some point. Right, secret number 2. And if I recall correctly, there's stuff down here. Including a boulder. One of those friendly little things. So yes, this is a whole area set aside for a secret. Up here. I can never remember which one of these you actually have to jump up to get. Clearly the answer is none of them. There we go. So yeah, we're getting more ammo for our Uzis, despite not having them. Now one can simply drop down and head back, or there's a second part to this secret, which is quite cool. I think this is a first. I don't think there's any other secret like this in the game. Where you end up down here, down in the very dark end of the tunnel. I don't think it goes anywhere particularly. Well, it's less pitch black than the original, which is rare. The remaster tends to like putting darkness in. I mean, okay, I'm talking about the original remaster. They've patched it. joys of city main roads. Sirens going off all the time. I think there's an ambulance place nearby and a hospital nearby, so yeah. Anyway, certainly when the remaster first came out, there's a lot of pitch black areas. Now this is fun, trying to get past this thing. They're down here, but you're still stuck behind the boulder. Is there another way out? I can't remember now. Or am I actually stuck here forever? That'll be fun. Today I learned there's another exit. The only way I've ever got out of that in the past is actually by jumping past the boulder. There's always something new to learn. Something that shows up how ridiculous I was at playing this game in the past, apparently. Well, that's fun. There we go. That's that room over. Where are we off to now? More lava. Now this is one of my favourite puzzles. These could very easily just be mistaken for bog standard crates. I mean, you know, there's nothing to suggest that they are anything other than crates that happen to have TNT written on them. Just for decoration, really, just for a little bit of added realism, the same way the crates earlier had Natla Technologies written on them, I suppose. So, yeah, you could be forgiven for just thinking. Could be forgiven for just thinking that that's all it is. And very helpfully, that crate can lead us up here. Now, if anything screams boulder on its way, it's that slope there in Natla's mines, so. Oh no, apparently not. God, I do not know this level as well as most of the game, as you can tell from how many things I'm getting wrong here. Now, here does come a boulder. albeit one that isn't actually very dangerous. Maybe it's Great Wall I'm thinking of. Not Great Wall. God. Great Pyramid I'm thinking of. That has all the boulders. I know that does as well, but maybe I'm just getting them confused. And here we are. This is always one of my favourite bits of a Tomb Raider game. We've come back on ourselves and we can see this section from a whole new angle, and also pick up some magnum clips. That's exploded something. What could it be? Well, it's going to be the TNT craze, isn't it? Which is, yeah, that's what's cool about them. You know, they could, the TNT logo on them could literally just be set dressing, but no, this is a different kind of thing. They've added in a new type of puzzle, which is using explosives to get through part of the mine, to literally blow away some rock. So here's the remains of our creative explosives. How a switch up there managed to explode a crate down here when there's no cables or wires, that is beyond me. Also, why none of these crates exploded is also beyond me. But yeah, limitations of the old game engine, of course. I just think that's a really cool little puzzle, one that kind of, it's just gradually expanding what the game can do. You know, they're pushing the game engine to its limits. Now here we are, we're at the mine's underground skate park, which is a thing. This is where we get our second combat of the game, or the level. No, yeah, I don't know what this is meant to be. I really don't. I mean, it's used as a skate park for you firing at me for a little skater. Ooh, excuse me, for a little skater boy here, who, I mean, he's called Skater Boy. This is pre-Avril Lavigne, so they might have called him something different afterwards. God, he looks about 12. Now, why is one of your goons a teenager on a skateboard? I mean, they've given him a different outfit. Is that something? Is that like a reference to something, that outfit? That actually looks more authentically, well, I suppose more authentically 90s, kind of the slightly khaki-ish looking camo shorts and the sports top. I like that he's got his fringe through the front of the cap. That really does fit with the, well, through the back of the cap. That definitely fits the 90s vibe. I've added some wear and tear to his skateboard. Anyway, yeah, this guy's just a dick. And despite having Uzis, which are a considerably more powerful weapon, he barely shot at us, because I didn't use him. Literally took away about a quarter of Lara's health. Instead he just rode around like a prick. Having too much fun on his skateboard to realise that he was about to die. So, you know. Also, you firing at me? There's no one else here, so you gotta be... Oh, it's just really cheesy. I mean, it's fun, but it's really cheesy. And yes, after a couple of them, you'd be forgiven for thinking that all of these gaps between the ramps are lava, but no. We have our third and final secret. How do we get out of here? Uh-huh. Back to the skate park. I can put them away. So having got the shotgun from the secret earlier, that is all our weapons back. Not quite as much ammo. Well, actually, no, more ammo in terms of the uses because I've used it all up. But now this has to be boulders. If this isn't boulders, I'm just gonna give up my Tomb Raider player badge. Boulder. And one along the top. Just for good measure. Sometimes when you're playing a game, you just run out of things to say. Oh, here we are at my least favourite part of the level. I'm sorry, is that meant to be the sky? Oh, actually, no, I don't buy it. Do not buy it. If there's light around the rest of the mine and there's no explanation, we really do not need a freaking skybox there. So yeah, this is a nightmare, confusing maze. Is that another? Yeah, I can never remember this, but it's just push some blocks around, pull some others, faff around a bit. Push that over there. So yeah, this is all visually very, very different to what we've been having. Sort of sandstone. Which, yeah, after the grey, granity looking stone of the rest of the level is quite refreshing visually. There's also no hint narratively of what... Actually, no, I should push that. Narratively what it is meant to be at this point. We do pull this one. I'm stuck. I always get stuck here. This is such a... I don't know what the word is. Nasty? There's something about this particular little bit which is just... There's no fucking hint or explanation of what to do. There we go, it was behind that block. Oh, we have an open door. Yes, I just tried asking, well, mentioning it online, saying it on Discord, saying, yeah, I'm a bit stuck in this bit, and thank you, Vincula, for have you tried pushing the blocks? It's good to know that people are always out there with helpful advice. Oh right, yeah, it's the one up here, and not that one there. That one.
Say cheese.
Oh, you can say cheese yourself. So yeah, we do get to shoot this guy and get our shotgun back, but as there's already a shotgun in our mini infinite backpack, this is more just a case of getting rid of him. He's known as the bald guy because they couldn't even come up with a nickname for him. What's he got that's distinctive? Well, no hair on his head. Yeah, that'll do. Oh, he does have a cool new jacket though, so that's... Oh, that's a bad outfit. Yeah, he looks considerably better now at least. So what we have here, with these sandstone buildings here, this is our first this is the first appearance of Atlantis. These are old Atlantean buildings. This is that door that shut when we got close to it, I think. Is it? Yes. Tedious thing. Or is that this one? That's this one. Yeah, this is Atlantis. These are buildings of Atlantis on the outskirts of the ancient city. And here we have the entrance to the Greek Atlantean pyramid. Which is pretty cool. We didn't get pyramids in Egypt, but we do get one in Atlantis. In fact, so much to the extent that Atlantis basically is one. It's all part of the Atlantean mythology which the developers came up with, which is very different to your sort of conventional idea of what Atlantis is. That switch has opened these... No, it hasn't. It's opened this over here. Which just falls into another one of that category of doors that must have always been a pain in the arse to open. So, can we get into this room, please? Yeah, let me just spend 10 minutes climbing up a pyramid. So yes, instead of a key, we get... Well, it is a key, but instead of a traditional key, we get the pyramid key. And so it's finally time to gain access to Atlantis and see this beautiful, beautiful... Wait, what? Atlantis is often usually portrayed as some kind of utopia. So this is maybe not what I was expected. In the original game, you don't get even a hint of what's through there, but on the remaster they actually put the first room in, so you just get a hint of what you're going towards, which is pretty cool because Natla's mines, despite the lava bits and despite sharing textures, is such a different level to the two Atlantean ones, especially Atlantis itself, so it is pretty cool to just get a hint of that here, so you really get a hint of what's coming. 3 out of 3 secrets, took me an hour, 26 of 30 pickups and 3 kills. Not too bad, not too bad. And Natla has got 3 parts of the ski on together. Put them on that, and well, who knows? A thing there. And the mountain is partially exploded, and that is the pyramid. Pyramid we've just entered, right at the bottom. Which is where we'll pick up in the next level, which is Atlantis. So I do hope you'll join me then for a really grotesque level of Tomb Raider. In the meantime, leave me some comments, thoughts, likes, subscribes, anything like that down below. Always appreciated, and I hope you join me for Atlantis. Toodaloo.